Tonight, a big announcement from one of the biggest employers based in Minnesota. Fridley's Medtronic said it's going to lay off some of its employees around the world. But what we still don't know exactly is how many jobs that will be. And that's been a bit of a trend lately, following several changes announced by Minnesota's biggest corporate employers that are short on details. Tonight, Kent joins us to explain what we know right now.
Well, Jenna, we know Medtronic now joins another major local employer, Best Buy, in announcing layoffs in just the last few days. Meanwhile, Wells Fargo is moving some local employees around the metro. Now, beyond those headlines, though, there really aren't that many details to be had. So I'm going to do my best to run through some of the information that we know, and then we'll get to the big picture. All right, let's start with the Medtronic layoffs. Keep in mind, the company is much larger than its Fridley campus, with nearly 100,000 employees worldwide. We do not know at this point how many of those employees are being laid off or where, only that notifications started going out today and will continue for several months to come. In a statement today, the company said the layoffs are designed to better position the company for future growth. I thought that sounded like a vague corporate kind of speak, so I spoke to Chris Farrell, senior economics contributor for NPR News and Marketplace, to help translate. He says it stems from Medtronic's decision to spin off companies and restructure last year.
The company is under a lot of pressure, both to lower its costs and to show its growth strategy.
In a way, similar thinking is behind the announcement from Best Buy that they are laying off hundreds of employees as well, not at its corporate campus in Richfield, but in its stores nationwide. Again, we are short on specifics, but the company says it will cut some consultant roles, people who specialize in certain departments like laptops and cell phones. In a statement, the company says it's evolving our stores and the experiences we offer to better reflect the changes in customer shopping behavior. And speaking of evolving, Wells Fargo isn't talking about layoffs, but the company is downsizing its office footprint, announcing that it will sell its Wells Fargo home mortgage office building in South Minneapolis and move out of another building in St. Louis Park in order to relocate those corporate employees elsewhere, including downtown Minneapolis, explaining the move by saying the way that we work is evolving. Again, it's still hard to know how these evolving companies will impact our communities, neighborhoods, and of course families, and that alone can be nerve-wracking. Chris says it's all a reflection of the economic uncertainty going on right now.
So I think a lot of managements right now are saying, look, let's be cautious. We don't know if there's going to be a recession, but their costs have gone up in most companies. That's this part of this supply chain that we've talked about in the past, and the higher inflation, and we have higher wages. So it's just simply more expensive these days to be running your company. So if I were to say right now, is there a management mantra? It's caution. Keep our costs down. Frankly, don't take any big bets right now.
For the record, Chris says he's also not betting big on layoff numbers either. That's because he says companies are also still dealing with a generational shift in employment and workforce.
There just simply is a shortage of labor. And so people are holding on to workers more than they would. They're going to hire workers who are getting laid off. And I think that's why it has this fundamental different feel than it has in previous times when you're seeing a number of industries starting to lay off workers.
Now, of course, none of this will come as any comfort to anyone who may have learned that they've been laid off today or are concerned that they will be in the weeks to come. But again, Chris said many of those who are being laid off are also still in high demand jobs and are quickly finding new opportunities. Jenna?
Thanks, Kent. Wells Fargo already laid off a few hundred mortgage bankers back in February as a part of an effort to scale back its home lending business. But the company says now there are no layoffs connected to this latest move and that it remains committed to the Twin Cities as an important market and employment center.